So agility has finally arrived in Dragonwilds, and after getting gold on every single course in the game, I'm going to show you everything you need to know. We'll cover every course location, every unlock, every reward, and I'll give you a few tips to help you get a gold yourself. And I'm throwing down the gauntlet as well. I challenge anyone to beat my best times. Don't forget to drop them down in the comments below. And let's see who the fastest Dragon Slayer in the community is. So let's get straight into it. So agility is Dragonwild's newest skill, and there's two ways of leveling it. The first is simply exploring the world. As you run around Ashen Fall, you're going to gain passive agility experience, although this doesn't work while mounted. The second, and by far the fastest method, is completing the agility courses spread across each region. Every completed lap gives experience, and every course has bronze, silver and gold medal times to beat. Gold medals also unlock the trimmed version of that region's cape, although you do still need to have unlocked the original cape beforehand. And progression looks a little something like this. From level 1 you are able to access the Brynmoor agility course. From level 15 you can access the Ghornfell and Stormtouch Highlands course. Then we're off to Fellhollow at level 30, Dowden Reach at level 51, and then finally Umbral Sands at 65. My recommendation is obviously simply stay on each course until the next one unlocks. That's the fastest agility XP currently available. And as you level agility, you're going to unlock a few movement abilities. At level 5 you get Wind Step, but if you've already been playing Dragonwilds before this update, you're actually going to start with that unlocked already. At level 10 you're going to get Double Jump, which completely changes how the later courses play, and honestly the rest of the game as well. Then at level 32 you unlock Air Dash. Personally, this is my absolute favourite. It's the biggest unlock in the entire skill. It makes movement feel fantastic and becomes pretty essential on the later courses as well. So if you are planning on training agility properly, there's a few items you definitely want. The agility ring, which you can craft at the jeweler's bench, gives a 5% experience bonus. And then we also have the new Gyrohawk amulet, which will be unlocked as soon as you get your first feathers from the first reward of the Brynmoor Course. And you can make this at the crafting station. This gives double the passive agility XP you get while exploring the world. Although it's worth noting this doesn't work on the courses. So it is going to be best to keep that ring equipped if you're doing the courses. And then of course the Gyrohawk amulet if you're just exploring the world. And then now we can also make agility potions as well, which is going to give us a 15 and 30% boost. Make as many of these as you can if you're planning on training this all the way to 99, because it definitely helps. So before we start, there's one mechanic you absolutely need to understand. There's two different types of orbs. The purple checkpoint orbs are mandatory. Miss one of these, you're going to have to go back and collect it, and it's going to instantly ruin that gold medal attempt. Secondly, there's yellow stamina orbs. These aren't mandatory, but they do completely refill your stamina. On the early courses you can mostly ignore them, but once you get to Dowden Reach and especially Umbral Sands, I would strongly recommend collecting every single one if you want to take these gold medal runs seriously. So the first course is the Brynmoor Course. It's located just north of Temple Woods and south of the Chasm. The gold time here is 57 seconds. It's really just an introduction to the core mechanics. The biggest thing here is to avoid the spike traps, because they're really going to slow you down. The fire damage does cause a problem, but your health resets after every attempt. Fire damage isn't too much of a problem here because your health resets after every attempt anyway. You only really want to avoid the obstacles that are going to slow you down. So keep your momentum up, collect every checkpoint orb, and this gold medal should only take a couple of attempts. The second course unlocks at level 15 and is located at the Stormtouch Highlands, just south of the river and on top of the cliffs here. The gold on this one requires 1 minute and 6 seconds. This is the first course that really introduces Wind Step, and one little optimization that I found is to queue Wind Step while you're still running towards the obstacle. With the new combat update, you can now activate those and do the animation while you're walking, which really helps on some of these courses. So now that you can cast it while you're moving, the spell's already prepared. You don't lose any time opening the spell wheel and activating it while you're standing there waiting. Again, this course isn't especially difficult, it's just slightly longer than Brynmoor. and it's really just teaching you the mechanics you're going to be using for the future courses, mainly focusing on the double jump on this one, and providing a little bit more of a challenge than Brynmoor. And then at level 30, you'll unlock the Fellhollow Course. Gold here is 1 minute and 7 seconds. And the biggest threat here isn't really the jumps, it's the flame traps. I cannot count how many times these guys knock me off. It's so frustrating. But if you do get launched off the map, you can just restart. So it's definitely worth pushing it and seeing what you can get away with in these runs. Otherwise, this course really just follows a very similar formula to the previous one, using wind step and double jump throughout. And obviously after a couple of levels here, you are going to unlock the air dash, which is going to help your times as well. So once you get to level 32, your time should increase if you are struggling with that gold medal. Again, as you can see, you really don't need to be perfect on this. The agility courses are quite forgiving in this game. You can tend to get a gold with 1 or 2 mistakes every run really. As long as they're not major mistakes, you should be just fine. Then quite a big jump in levels now to level 51 to get to Dowden Reach. You'll unlock the Tower Climb course. This is located just on the south side of the library. This course requires wind step, double jump and air dash. It's the only course that requires all three, and personally this was my favourite course in the game. Air dash completely changes the movement. And the route actually naturally teaches you when to use it, because the checkpoint orbs almost create a bridge through the air. So it's very easy to telegraph when you need to use this dash. It's teaching you the mechanic, which is very nice. This is also where collecting the yellow stamina orbs become much more important as well, because we are using air dash a lot more often. We're using double jumps a lot more often. We're going to use a lot more stamina. So make sure you're picking up those little yellow boys. And if you're ever unsure where to go, just follow the red course markers, or of course copy my route. Last but certainly not least is the final course. This unlocks at level 65 and located west of the Sunken Pyramid near the Burning Spire in Umbral Sands. This one requires a gold time of 1 minute and 5 seconds. Definitely the hardest course in the game at the moment. Not really because the movement is much more difficult, but because your stamina management suddenly becomes really important. You really do need to collect every stamina orb on this one. Missing even one of these can make the final section so much harder. I kept missing the stamina orb at the start and it was just throwing my runs totally off. And I couldn't jump and was just getting stuck in the lava all the time. And there's also one other mechanic in this that you're going to have to deal with. Because we're in the desert, you've also got to deal with the scorch mechanic. I wasn't sure if they would turn this off during the agility course, but apparently not. So I found that wearing the desert robes, drinking coolers and using the bunny cactus completely solved that problem for me. But alternatively, you can just run this course at night time as well. Hopefully this guide either helped you find every course or get those gold medals a little quicker. I did try to get this out really fast today. And if it did, I'd really appreciate a like. And if you're looking for more Dragonwilds content covering all the combat changes, the Ascension cores, everything else from this update and onwards, make sure you are subscribed to your boy. Because let me tell you, there's plenty more on the way. See you soon.